So this is just gonna be kind of a slop commentary video. I decided to make it over actual gameplay that I'm like playing right now. I think it'll be slightly more interesting for you to watch, but basically the whole thing I wanted to do for this video was kind of talking about the Trickster rework and how I've seen so many people say it's not a good rework or they didn't do enough. I'm specifically thinking of people on Twitter and also Scott Jund, which I respect Scott Jund's opinion, but I don't necessarily agree with it. He was saying that the rework was only good for a couple of Trickster names and that they all have Stockholm Syndrome. And I have to disagree majorly because the old Trickster. Sorry, I thought there was somebody there. The old Trickster to me was a boring killer that had no purpose in the game, and I just completely stopped playing Trickster. For some context, I've been playing Trickster since the PTV. I really like their design. I love the sound effects. I love how they play with a quick time down. And whenever Trickster became a 115 killer with a 8 knife to down, that just felt really bad, even worse than the previous Trickster. I don't know if anybody still remembers that, but the first version of Trickster was a killer with only, I think it was a 7 knife to down, 1 in 10. They were super bad, super slow time to throw. But I still enjoyed that Trickster more because if you were good at them, and if you even brought an add-on like Fizzbin Soda, it just made it so much more fun, and it really rewarded skill. And that's how I feel with the new Trickster. I think they reward skill a lot. The 6 knives down is quick, but it's not too quick for the survivors. I still think it's a fair design to go against. I think it's more fun than mindlessly throwing, 8 knives to injure. You have like 100 knives. You get main event every 2 seconds. Sure, they might have been slightly stronger, but I still think the new Trickster is stronger, even if you count the old main event. Because the new Trickster, you have more lethality in chase. I feel more like it's Slinger in the new Trickster. But anyway, I'm going on a bit of a rant. What I'm trying to say is that the old Trickster was just a killer that I did not want to play. I don't think many people wanted to play them. The 115 didn't even feel that good because you still needed a long time to down. And having infinite knives with just slop spamming, it wasn't very fun. And infinite main event is also just not skillful at all. So it was a boring killer, first of all, who rewarded no skill plays, and also just felt abandoned by the devs. They didn't really feel like they had any meaningful, what do you call it, adjustments to their kit in a long time. And the new Trickster, they feel fresh and new still to me, even though it's been a while, because of things like the rank system feeling more like a modern DVD thing. Like the rank system itself is a fun way to represent how well you're doing, but the rank system just feels fun to me. You can see how well you're doing, you get rewarded for hitting knives. Also, one thing, the add-ons are much better in the new Trickster version. Like the 2 add-ons I'm using now, the Snipe add-on and Eerie Photo Card, they're both really strong, and they both give me a way to play this Trickster slightly differently. The Snipe add-on really lets you have a unique and weird playstyle with Trickster. You can just really exploit long range survivors. Like mostly you think you're safe against this killer whenever you're pretty far away, since hitting 6 knives from a really long distance is pretty unrealistic. But with that add-on, it's only 3, so you could really chip somebody's health down from far away and they'll never expect it. And the Eerie Photo Card, that is by far their strongest add-on, but it also just makes you think about the macro a little bit more. Like, do you want to pop your main event to get it down, or do you want to use it to block a gen when you need to? I usually do both in the same game, and it's a lot of fun. I am totally ranting. Oh, another thing. The 115 speed, it didn't make his Trickster feel more fun or responsive. It almost feels the same to me as a 110 speed killer, because at that time, the 8 knives to down, or the 8 knives to injure and then down, it felt so slow anyway that I felt like I was playing an inferior version to the character I already knew. And, I think most Trickster players didn't fall in love with the 115 Trickster. I think they fell in love with the really janky and sluggish, well, not sluggish, janky and, weak Trickster in the PTV and release. And now I think they're in a great spot because I think they're, a B-tier killer. I think they can really carry games by themselves now. They got a lot more high quality cosmetics like Nina. It's a great cosmetic. It also made a lot of money. Like purely from a financial standpoint, I think this rework was a success. Obviously, I don't know exactly how much money they made, but from what I've seen the devs talk about, it seems like it was a financial success for the Mina skin. And that's a really annoying bug. Sometimes randomly it just plays Trickster, like default Trickster voice lines. I have no idea why. And also, if you noticed, I feel like the only person I've noticed about this, but the rank at the top of your screen is like slightly cropped at the top, and it's very annoying. Anyway, this video is like very bad. I don't know what I'm talking about mostly, but another thing, another thing. I think this rework shouldn't really target a large amount of players. I know Scott John was saying the biggest reason why the rework is terrible was because it didn't appeal to a broader player base. And I would argue that wasn't always the point of the rework. I think the point of the rework, especially with how they went about it, we talked to a lot of like pure Trickster mains, like dedicated players, and you know, I think they're just trying to appease the actual Trickster mains, which is good for me especially, and I think it's good for the broader community as well, because if you keep making killers that just try to appeal to everyone, when we already have killers like Jason and Springtrap where they just try to appeal to the largest demographic possible, I think it just will really take away some of the soul from DVD, because Trickster to me is a killer that is so unique and has been that way since launch. And if you just change them to something that they were never meant to be, I think that's not really a good thing to do, even if it brings slightly more players. Because what's going to keep those casual players from just moving on to Jason when he comes out, or Terrifier when that comes out? The thing with casuals is that they don't really have a pure main. They just play whatever feels the best to them. And sure, maybe Trickster can achieve that for a month or 2 months in between chapters, but I think what the rework really succeeded in doing was just narrowing down the people they want to appeal this rework to, and really just refining their experience for them. Because if you create a loyal like customer base of just Trickster players, that's still good to me, because those players will never leave the character behind unless you completely rework them. And you know, I think they'll buy a lot of skins for the character, and I don't think every killer needs to be super niche, and I think DVD carries enough of its money through big casual licenses that you don't need to make Trickster a super casual player that broadens to everybody. A lot of their add-ons now, they're just so much better than they used to be. Like, what am I saying? Like Tequila Moonrock and all those weird like combo add-ons are so much better now. The Ripper Brace add-on too. The add-on is just, it doesn't necessarily completely change the way you play the game, but it does give you another build to play with, like a Volt Speed build or a Kick build. Or the default photo card was just such a boring, like, well, in its first iteration, it's just such a boring instant down like slap add-on. It was just whenever they're one knife away from being injured, they get the exposed stats effect. And then after that, it was a haste add-on, which I thought was better, but I thought it was too weak to really be a good add-on, because you need to land a lot of knives in a row to keep up the pace. And it just didn't feel that great, especially if you missed a knife, and it really made you play in too much of a safe and conservative way, and it wasn't really for me. But now, you know, I really like the add-ons. I think the most boring one is the A tier Aura Read. That's just really good, like, in any situation. I think they could slightly change that, but, you know, I think it's fine either way. But yeah, like, I guess if I were to summarize my argument, I would say that you don't need to broaden to a broader player base. The rework really appealed players like me. It feels great to use. 6 knives, to me, I think objectively, is more fun than 8 knife slop main event spamming. The rank system really feels satisfying, and you know, Mina is a great skin. I know, you know, the point of a killer design isn't about the skins, but I do think it's important here because I really think the Mina skin just was such a good skin that it just brought more players to this already niche character, and I think it really helped. I don't know if this video was like good at all. I was just talking to Mike when I was playing this game. Also, I think I did a pretty damn good job doing this game, especially like that is great. Purple cut through you single, or is it cut through you single? Anyway, the snipe add-on value. But yeah, I've been playing Trickster for years. You know, I P100 them, and I'd love to rework. And I really want to hear what other people think. I know this video wasn't very good, but you know. And this is probably going to go on my other channel, you know, since it's really low quality. But if you want to check out my main channel, it's just Otis Vale with 2 E's. Yeah, go ahead and check that out. And thank you for watching.